All right, bring her down. Copy that, bring her down. Watch the dust, keep it clear of the line.
This is where the road ends for these old cars and where then their next life begins.
Hooked in. Take it up.
The transformation begins with the shredder, a machine capable of ripping an entire vehicle to shreds in seconds.
All right, come on. There, got it.
By pulling out the steel, they isolate exactly what they need to make the rebar.
The pure scrap steel is then loaded into charging buckets, preparing for the most volatile stage of the process.
Radio check. The bucket is positioned. Over.
How long does the melt take?
About 40 minutes per batch.
Three massive graphite electrodes are lowered into the scrap, introducing 120,000 amps of raw electricity.
Zone B is critical. I can't stabilize it. Override initiated. It's still climbing.
Impure slag floats to the top of the molten steel and must be removed before casting.
The refined liquid steel is transported to the continuous caster, where it will take its first solid form.
That's roughly 100 tons of liquid metal up there?
As the steel cools in the mold, it solidifies into long, continuous strands called billets.
Billets are the raw material for the rolling mill. But first, they have to reach the perfect temperature.
To shape the billets into rebar, they are fed into a reheat furnace, bringing them back to a pliable 2100 degrees.
The steel travels through a series of increasingly smaller rollers, squeezing it thinner and longer with extreme force.
How fast is it moving now?
About 40 feet per second.
On the cooling bed, the rebar slowly loses its red glow, transforming back into gray steel. The finished rebar is gathered into bundles, ready for the final stages of packaging.
From a rusted chassis to this, the strength of these bars will hold up bridges, skyscrapers, and highways. Millions of old cars resurrected from the scrapyard, heading out to build the future.
The cycle of steel is endless. What drives us today will build our world tomorrow.